We just did our review on the 458 SOCOM in your AR-15. We're going to look at this, and I'm going to just show you how to mainly install the barrel. There's a lot of other parts that we've added to this, but it's pretty common with the stock and things like that. But if you're interested in this incredible, devastating round, I think that the 458 SOCOM is a great project. Great for hunting, great for home defense, and is possibly something that our U.S. military has been looking at as far as a one-shot stop against an enemy. It's like shooting a 45-70 out of an AR-15. Now, as far as the full review of the rifle and what it can do and just a demonstration at the range, I'll have the link down below. And then, of course, now we're going to look at how to put this together and really how simple it is. Now, here we have the parts laid out for the 458 SOCOM build. We're starting out with the barrel, which is from Brownells. It's a 458 SOCOM barrel. It's 416 stainless steel, 16-inch. This is made by Saturn for Brownells. It has the modified feed ramp to fit the 458, and it's a 1 in 14 twist. But it's also threaded, and it does come with a proprietary muzzle brake. This brake, the threads on here are 3/4 by 24 threads, so it's a pretty serious brake. It is a heavy barrel configuration, and it is in the carbine length, which helps to make this very positive when firing the rifle. It does require a .926 gas block, and then of course it'll need to go over this size barrel. And it does have a divot at the bottom to be able to accept the threads on your gas block. And it comes with a bolt. This is for the 458, completely different than your 556, but this will fit in your standard M16 bolt carrier group. And you can see the major difference between the two. This is 556 here on the right and your 458 SOCOM here on the left. We're going to use one of the Air Precision mil-spec upper receivers for your AR-15. The big difference between this and your standard AR is that you'll have to have the ejection port either milled out, or Brownells does offer a cross machine tool upper that's already pre-cut. And I believe those are $115. Now, sometimes you can get these upper receivers fairly reasonable and then have the work done, which runs about $45 to have this done plus return shipping. The reason why I went with this is because at the time they didn't have the cross machine tool uppers in stock. And they do now, at least at the time of this video. You can cut this out with a Dremel tool. Of course, it's a lot less expensive. Just cutting it out, and then you're good to go. But it is one option. We're also using one of the AAC or Advanced Armament Company square drop aluminum free float handguards. And this is a very unique system. It'll either take their proprietary square drop attachments, or you can use KeyMod on here. With this open area, and I'll show you once we get this built, it really allows the KeyMod to lock in a lot easier because of the design. But again, we'll check that out once we get this on the rifle. And this is a 13.5 inch. Now, with the handguard and the barrel nut and the turnbuckle screw, this only weighs 13.8 ounces. You also get a tool to be able to attach this, so it makes it really handy. We are going to install one of the Hogue overmold stocks and pistol grips, and these are really comfortable. It has this rubberized coating on here to really give you a lot of comfort, and we're going to be using that and attaching that to the lower receiver. I'm also going to install some of the Magpul Pro offset sights, and I really like these sights, especially if you're using optics, and these are just great. I have a full review on these, but I really like the Magpul Pro sights, and the offsets are perfect for optics. Now, here are all the tools you'll need for the project. I'll have a list down below. You can get all of these tools at Brownells.com. Great source if you need gunsmithing tools, and if you're doing projects, it's great to have these available. Now, I had Robbie Wheaton at Wheaton Arms to expand the ejection port for me. He charges $45 plus $15 return shipping. So it's very reasonable to have that cut out. And we're just going to show you a little bit of the process as it went through. Here we have the 458 SOCOM expansion. You can see how much different it is than the standard mil-spec upper. So a lot more needs to be drilled out down here or milled out. And that's what Robbie right here is going to take care of.
Here we opened up the load port to where the upper receiver will properly eject the 458 SOCOM. We lowered the shelf here on the bottom. We raised the shelf on the top some. And then we lengthened it just a little bit front to rear, just to facilitate in ejection of the empty cartridges.
Now, I haven't done anything to this upper. Of course, you can see the raw aluminum coming through, which is not going to hurt anything because it won't rust. But I think I'm going to take some Aluma-Black and put on here. I could have had it Cerakoted, which is an option for you if you want to have this taken care of. But the Aluma-Black is going to be fine, or you can just leave it as is. But you can see it's a pretty large expansion on this chamber. Here we're taking our Birchwood Casey Aluma-Black, and we're just going to go ahead and coat this just to keep that shine down. And that really darkened that up in a hurry. Now I'm going to take a little bit of water and just kind of stop the action of the cold blue or the Aluma-Black. Okay, now we're going to turn our receiver clamp or vise back, and we're going to tighten it down, and this way we can work on installing our barrel. We're going to take a little bit of Aeroshell 33 lithium grease, and we're going to get those threads. I'll have the link for this. This is great stuff. I get it from a guy on eBay, and it comes in these little vials. It's just perfect, the perfect size. And we're going to take that Aeroshell and we're going to put it right here on the barrel extension. And then we're going to install it into our upper receiver. There's a small little post on your barrel, and it fits right here into the slot in the upper receiver. So we're going to want to make sure we have that good and locked down. And there we go. Make sure that's solidly locked in there. Next, we're going to take our barrel nut from Advanced Armament, and we're going to place it on, and we're also going to coat those threads with the Aeroshell as well. Now we're going to take our barrel nut with the threads facing the receiver, bring it over, and then start tightening it down. Now we want to get this hand tight, so just bring it all the way to where it meets the upper receiver. Now we're going to take the tool that's provided by AAC, and we've got a Torx wrench. This is really important. You need to have at least 35 foot-pounds of pressure for your torque to get this tight enough. So we're going to take this and go ahead and lock it in. There are holes in different sections of your barrel nut, and they correspond with the post right here in your tool. We're going to take and just lock it down, and we're just going to tighten down. Go ahead and untighten it all the way, and let's tighten it again. We're going to do that 3 times just to make sure that we're in good shape. You don't have to tighten it down too tight, but you want to get a good solid lock. And we've got the right torque. Now we're going to install our gas block, our gas tube, and we have a roll pin for our gas tube. We're going to drive our roll pin through here, and it will go through the gas tube here. But underneath is your gas port. You're going to want to make sure that is in the down position. But before we install our gas tube, let's go ahead and get our pin started. And we've got our pin here. I've already prepared it. A little bit of filing. I have a roll pin punch holder. Put it in here. Now you don't want to go too much because then you'll block it, but we have it at least pinned in there. Now we're going to take our gas tube, and again we're going to put it right through that hole, making sure that the hole for your gas port is open and down and on the down position. Alright, got it installed. Place our gas block with gas tube over. Goes right into the receiver into this hole. And you have your gas port right here. Bring it right over. Then we tighten down the set screws underneath. Now we're going to install our handguard, and there's a cut forward in the front. Back here there's a little cutout. You can see it right here. And then you have your area where your turnbuckle goes. So that goes toward the rifle end. Just bring it over the top. Now the vise was interfering somewhat. This is about all I could get it, but we need to have those Picatinny rails matched. So just bring it on and it'll lock right into place. Now we have the turnbuckle screw. One is left thread, one's right. So we're going to unscrew these. And this is what locks down your handguard. Now I've already degreased these, because really they recommend if you're going to put this on pretty semi-permanent, then you need to put some Loctite, blue Loctite, which is not permanent Loctite, but it'll hold this into place. So we're just going to dab it a little bit on there. Next we're going to return these, and remember that one is left thread and one is right thread. You want to have the wings facing on the inside. And you're going to want to tighten this down all the way. Now once you get it tight, you back it out to make it even, and just a little bit, and that's even right there. Underneath the handguard you have this little slot. You're going to drop this in. And then we're going to take our tool and we're going to take this end and we're going to tighten this down. Goes right here. Not a lot of room to work with, but once it tightens down, you'll feel the resistance. Now it says you don't want to over tighten these. You just want to get it hand tight and then a quarter of a turn, because that can damage your handguard. So we got it set. That's a pretty cool system, by the way. Now we're going to install our muzzle brake, and we're going to take the thread protector off. Take a little bit of this Aeroshell 33 lithium grease and get it on these threads. And we're just going to thread it down. Alright, we're going to install the 458 SOCOM bolt into the AR-15, or this is actually an M16 bolt carrier group. And I'm going to slide it in. Go ahead and put in our cam pin. And we're going to insert our firing pin and we're going to finish it up right here. Good to go. I'm going to sit in our charging handle, take the bolt carrier right into place. Alright. There are flats on either side, so we can tighten this to where we need to. And it is rock solid. Now this is the rifle in the completed form. Instead of going through and showing you how to install your stocks and attaching your sights, and finishing out your upper receiver, it's pretty. There's a lot of information. In fact, I have a number of videos that cover that. One thing we did change was putting one of the BCM Gunfighter charging handles, which I really like, especially if you have an optic on your rifle. This is the Primary Arms 1-8 ACSS reticle, my favorite, hands down, my favorite reticle. And this is in the first focal plane, excellent scope. And Primary Arms for the money, you can't beat them. But this is one of their Platinum series, and it's a really nice scope. But again, I'll have all the links down below on the initial shooting sequence and the review of the 458 SOCOM, and also all the links to the different parts that we put on here. Now in the description below I'll have a link to all the different parts that we were using for this rifle, and also all the tools that were used. So guys, I'm telling you, if you have an AR-15, whether you build a 458 SOCOM or a standard 5.56, it's really good to know how to put these together, how it works, what makes it work. That way you can do needed repairs, or you can put accessories and have a little confidence. So highly recommend building your AR-15 at least one. But I want to warn you, you build one, you'll be looking for your second one. Now guys, this isn't for everyone, and it's one of those things, it's more of a specialty rifle. If you're going to take it out and do some hunting, if you want to use it for home defense, the ammunition is expensive. It's not one of those you want to run out and just shoot a lot, but I'll tell you what, you take one of these out to the range and you will love it. It is an epic experience. Now I want to thank Brownells for helping me put this project together, sending the barrel assembly and some of the other parts to make this rifle complete. And also the Black Butterfly ammunition. This was a great addition to this rifle. One of the things about it, and I mentioned this during the review, is this is not cheap. I mean, it can run between $35 and up to $60 for 20 rounds, according to what you're getting. There's a lot of different specialty ammunition out there. But for the power that this cartridge produces, it is devastating. This gives a whole nother meaning to Fruit Ninja. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Spent cartridges. Crap. Gotta expand this out. Dang gummit. One thing we did change was we put a BCM handguard, a BCM gunfighter grip, putting a gunfighter. Now down in the description below also. Now down in the description below I'm going to have a link